Hello and welcome to the garage. As you probably already noticed, I have a problem here. So this was a mess before, but I recently had to bring a whole bunch more stuff in here. So these toolboxes I recently brought in here, some of these boxes up here, I have more boxes on the other side, and also I have a van full of stuff that needs to either come in here or disappear. And because of that, this has become pretty much unusable. Like I can't find what I'm looking for, and even when I can find it, I often can't get to it. And so I need to be able to work out of here. So I need to clean this whole thing up. This is a one car garage. So these toolboxes here are right down the middle. And then so we have shelving and storage on this wall, a walkway here, which is a pile of junk more than it is a walkway. And then the same thing on the other side of these. So there's another kind of walkway like this, which is also filled with junk, and some more storage on the other wall. My goal here is to obviously get rid of everything in here that doesn't need to be here and organize everything that does. And I want to get these toolboxes to a wall, which is impossible right now. In order to do that, I'll have to eliminate some shelving and also put a work table down the middle so I can work out of here. I've already started. The first thing that I did was upgrade the lighting. The lighting in here was really, really terrible. And so I put in some new lighting, and here's how that went. Now, this lighting project here was somewhat hastily contrived, by which I mean I sort of decided to do it, thought about how I wanted to do it, and then ordered the materials, and then here we go. And because of that, there were a few things that I didn't consider, which I'll have to deal with as I go, and I'll sort of point them out. The first thing I didn't consider is coming up here. I'm going to attach an extension onto the ceiling box where the old light fixture was. And my assumption, without checking, it didn't occur to me to even think of it, is that the threaded hubs on that, where I will be connecting my pipe to, would be sort of perpendicular to the sides of the room. Turns out they're at a 45. And so what I end up having to do here is bending the pipe. I'm using EMT. It's a kind of pipe used specifically for running electrical wiring in. And it's easily bendable, no problem, as long as you got the right tools. So I just bend a quick 45 on the end of that. And then the next thing I didn't think of as I'm going to approach that here is I sort of decided that the light fixture should be a certain distance from the wall. And I put the box there, and I'm running the fixture, and then I see, uh-oh, the bracket that supports the end of the garage door track is right in the way of where I want to put this light fixture. So I have to take this down and try again. So here I am taking it down. I got to cut a little bit of at the end of that pipe there, and then put it back up again, put the light fixture back up, and I'm using the partially open garage door to prop up the other end of that long 8-foot light fixture. When I ordered the materials for this project, I ordered some wire to go with it to hook all this stuff up with. When I got there to pick it up, they didn't end up having the wire, and it was back ordered by 2 weeks or something, but I wanted to get started, so I came home without the wire. And right here, I'm going to go look through my junk to see if I have any wire I can at least get started with. So like this piece here is left over from some project, and then here's some Romex that's was left over from another project. And I ended up having enough to do the whole thing just with little scraps that I had here and there. It's one of those situations where being the hoarder of all the junk that's still good worked out for me. So now I'm finishing up that first light fixture, and I end up just pulling that wire into the junction box and just letting it all hang out there because I still need to add another light fixture going the other way, so no reason to terminate any of that for now. And now I'm moving off to the other side, and there I'm bending the 45 for that pipe, and see me move that ladder. That ladder is a problem the whole time. In fact, it's a problem in here all the time. So one of the things I'm going to have to do very soon is figure out what to do with that ladder. Probably put it on the ceiling somewhere or something, but it's a problem. So I don't end up finishing this on this day because of another assumption that I made without checking that turned out to be wrong. So as soon as I get this second junction box up, I quit for the day and come back the next day. And this time I know about the bracket for the garage door, and so I get this up there, no problem, and then basically finish for the day. All right, now here I am back the next day, and the thing that I had, the mistake I had made that caused me to have to come back on this next day to is that I assumed, again without really considering it, that that existing light fixture was in the middle of the length of the room, and it turned out not to be. Turned out to be more like about a third of the way down the room. So I was going to go with an 8-foot light fixture going one way and an 8-foot going the other way, but turned out that I only could go 8 foot one way and 4 feet the other way because that it wasn't in the middle. Basically, I didn't think of that. On this light fixture here, if you notice that ceiling is kind of messed up. I don't remember why. It's been like that for a very, very long time, like since I was a kid. It got damaged and then patched up kind of badly, and I end up having on this light fixture here to use an offset fitting because that drywall on the ceiling is so uneven right there. But it worked out. I had the fitting in my junk, in my hoard as it were. And so now that I have that other light fixture on, I can make up that junction box and be finished with this side. And since the next day I decided to move the camera to the other end, so now the camera is kind of where the garage door is, facing the other way, kind of show you some more of the mess, and also because I'm working at that end. Now I have to put this other 8-foot fixture, so here I am trying to see if I can use this 2x4 to sort of prop up the end. It didn't really work out that way, so I just end up propping it up on the shelf here on some more. See, there's some rolled insulation film kind of like sticking off the end of the shelf. I use that as a prop. Some more hoarding that worked out okay. And on this clip we have the little clickety clickety working sounds, which I kind of like. I'm not sure why they weren't in the other video. I think because I had the microphone plugged in but not turned on, so there was no audio. This one you're just getting audio directly off the phone, the camera. And right here coming up, here's another thing I didn't consider is that hole in the ceiling over there is the access hatch for the attic. And so here I am kind of showing you that, I mean, what am I going to do with this? So I'm deciding what to do with it, and what I end up doing is just bending a piece of pipe around and putting the light fixture along the side of that hatch. I spent a lot of years back in the day working with an electrician, and he taught me kind of how to bend this pipe. Not that I'm really good at it, but the basics aren't really that complicated. So I bend a little S onto here, and then I'm back off to the races. Move the ladder again. And I had considered painting all that pipe and the junction box there that's in the middle, painting it white so it would all match together and look real nice and tidy. But you can tell by the state of the ceiling that I'm probably going to have to take all that down when I fix the ceiling. And I don't know when I'll do that, if maybe ever, but if I ever get around to that, I'll then, make that conduit and junction boxes look a little nicer. We got a little visit here right as I'm getting the last light fixture up. Making that last junction box now. And since the actual wiring that's in that box is, a few inches up in there, the bare copper that I needed to tie into was just tucked way up there. So it took me a minute to get a little pigtail on there so that I could bring it down and hook up to my new wiring, which is a little extra fun because there were actually live wires in there. Now that I'm just about done, we can see the result. Let's see how it goes. All right, so that's how that went. I'm really happy with the new lighting here. It's much better than before. And I hope you'll stay tuned for the next episode of me cleaning up this mess. So see you next time.